Let's get some analysis now. We are joined by Ciaran Browne. He's an assistant professor of conflict resolution and reconciliation at Trinity College, Dublin, and joins us live now from Belfast. Professor, it's a pleasure seeing you. We've been here before. There is cautious optimism. What are your thoughts?
Well, thanks very much as always for having me join you. Yeah, we've been here before. We've seen some of these false dawns, and that is part of the absolute heartbreak in all of this. So, yeah, I understand some of the cautious optimism. People need to see progress here. I mean, some of the descriptions that are coming through from my friends who have family in Gaza, who have family in the north of the Gaza Strip in particular, at this moment in time, the descriptions of what they're going through are absolutely devastating. I mean, we have lived through, the Palestinian people have lived through over a year of relentless Western-sponsored genocidal bombardment. We have seen the largest forcible displacement of people in the quickest amount of time. It has been absolutely catastrophic. Aid trucks waiting at crossings to go in and alleviate this suffering. So again, we need to see this ceasefire come into effect and stick. And again, it's hard to have the hope at the moment, but we really need to get this over the line. And so I hope that people do push hard here at this stage to get this done.
I mean, you're talking about the horrors that your friends are experiencing in Gaza. How seriously can Israel be taken as it actively continues to bomb the entirety of the Strip while holding these ceasefire negotiations?
I mean, and this has been the tactic for as long as I can remember as well. As negotiations go on, the Israeli bombing campaigns intensify. Remember, it was the same in the north of Palestine, at the south of Lebanon, when we saw during ceasefire negotiations a real ratcheting up of Israeli strikes right up to the final hour as well. And this has been straight out of the Israeli playbook for as long as I can remember as well. So again, that's why there's caution here. We need to be very careful that we don't get hopes up for people. So again, there are so many actors here that need to really put pressure on the Israeli government. There are so many supposed allies of the Israeli state who could be intervening. I mean, the Americans really could be turning off the tap, and there wouldn't be the availability of the arms to carry out the destruction that we've seen. European allies could be doing a lot more to put pressure. I mean, remember as well that the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, and they could be implemented should either decide to travel. I mean, we saw recently Yoav Gallant traveling to the United States. So there are mechanisms that could be used to bring this to an end, but it's about political will here. Of course, there's a humanitarian catastrophe, but it's a humanitarian catastrophe based on political decisions, and that needs to be centered in all of this.
Well, there are reports that Trump wants to have this deal done before he assumes office. To what extent do you think that he's had an impact on these negotiations? And of course, the U.S.'s support for Israel isn't expected to change. On the contrary, it's expected to strengthen after Trump assumes office. But the execution of the U.S. foreign policy on Israel is somewhat expected to change moving forward under Trump. Tell me your thoughts on that and your analysis on what to expect during Trump's presidency in regards to Israel's war on Gaza.
Well, there's a lot in that. If people will be familiar with Trump's last presidency and what happened in the region. I mean, it was Trump that was responsible for bringing these normalization deals over the line and normalizing relations that, in many people would say, was one of the sparks that led to the situation in Gaza erupting. And also Trump annexed the Golan Heights. Trump also moved the American embassy to Jerusalem. So in many ways, there's a lot of a blueprint there already in terms of what Trump will be like when it comes to engagement with Palestine. But again, and we need to be really careful here, and we need to be really particular. The genocide that has been happening, that has been taking place against the Palestinian people, has been done under the Democrats' watch. This is a Joe Biden genocide. This is a Democratic genocide. So sometimes we can fall into this trap and say, one's worse than the other. I mean, what is worse than genocide? And so we need to be really careful when we throw these accusations around. I really hope that Trump brings this to an end and brings this to a conclusion. But I dare say that things will become even more sticky, and the entire region, as we have seen in the last, certainly the last year, but more intensely in the last month and few weeks, has become an extremely challenging space to even try and understand, let alone figure out what the future looks like. So again, it remains to be seen what way this is going to play out.
Indeed. Professor Browne, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour and sharing that analysis with us.
Thank you.